subject of religion, many people talk today about a clash between faith and modernity. Is that how you see where we are today?
Well, certainly there are problems, but I think it's a mistake to emphasize too much the clash between religion and modernity. Many of the movements that we call fundamentalist movements have actually been modernizing movements, helping people to come to modern values such as democracy in a familiar package that makes cultural sense to them, so that it no longer seems an alien foreign import, but something that is rooted in their own culture. Until the 18th century, there was no divide between religion and politics. And we have achieved this secularization, this separation of religion and politics, because of our own history. But other people who haven't been through our history find that an unnatural division. And often what we call fundamentalist movements have risen up to try to bring God and religion back from the sidelines to which they've been relegated in a secular culture and onto center stage. I think it's been proved historically to be counterproductive to try to suppress religious movements, because almost invariably when that happens they become more extreme. Every fundamentalist movement that I've studied in Judaism, Christianity and Islam is rooted in a profound fear, a fear of annihilation. And so when people are attacked, this confirms them in their suspicion that modern liberal secular culture wants to destroy their faith traditions. And that's often when religions become aggressive, when they feel that their backs are to the wall. Secularism, in its short history, has proved just as destructive in many ways as religious bigotry. We've seen two major world wars fought for secular nationalism, which we've seen the Gulag, we've seen concentration camps. And there's also a form of secular fundamentalism that wants to get rid of religion and has just as bigoted an idea of religion as some religious bigots have of secularism. So I think, and actually it's quite difficult to get religion completely out of the public sphere and modernity. Many of the United States foreign policies have had some kind of religious context over the years. And despite the fact that this was the very first of the secular republics. So there can be a clash, yes, between religion and modernity, but we shouldn't make too much of it, and attacking religion will simply be counterproductive. It will tend to make for more extremity, more hostility, more suspicion.
Speaking of clashes, we've seen a series of cultural conflicts, whether it's the Danish cartoon controversy or the burning of a Koran by a Florida pastor. Are we witnessing what Samuel Huntington would call a clash of civilizations, or is it something else?
I think what we're seeing here is a clash of two different conceptions of what is absolutely sacred. If one thinks of, say, the Danish cartoons or the Salman Rushdie crisis, what you had was two clashes of something that was absolutely sacred. For the West, free speech has become a sacred value to us. I don't mean that it's given from us from a supernatural source or anything like that, but it is so central and so inviolable and so crucial to our identity that it's non-negotiable. It can't be violated. But that is a product of modernity. Almost you can see it as an industrial virtue. Free speech would not have been possible except in an advanced industrialized society. In pre-modern societies or developing societies, public order is of greater importance than free speech. And not because people are timorous, but because the economy simply can't support everybody having their own opinions and ideas about how society should be run when these things have no hope of being implemented, and then you get a great deal of frustration and social unrest. So you have, in this Rushdie crisis, you have a clash between those who are absolutely for free speech and those for whom free speech is not yet an absolute value, but who see, they say, the sovereignty of God as an absolute value. But we are now living in a multicultural world, and we now have to learn better how to negotiate these collisions with other people's sacred values. We have to realize that if we trample on other people's sacred values, we are creating an impossible situation for ourselves. And actually, we start betraying some of the values we ourselves espouse. When you see book burnings, this contradicts centuries of Islamic tolerance and Islamic encouragement of free speech in the confines of a pre-modern society. There have been Iranian clerics in the 17th century who said any form of censorship was a great evil. Similarly, when people segue from a denunciation of the Ayatollah's fatwa against Rushdie into an out-and-out denunciation of Islam as a bloodthirsty religion, this is letting down the ideals of liberal secularism, which is for respect and toleration and accepting the other person's point of view.